Prepare yourself for List Off, the gaming podcast where your hosts, Brian and Ryan, rank the things they love. 3, 2, 1, List Off!
Listen up, bub. We may not be the best at what we do, but we will do our best to bring you September's gaming news. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Thank you so much for asking. That was good.
Thanks.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Playing the games this week?
I did. So I played 2 Halo-style games, one being Halo Infinite, which we got to play together. So we can talk about that.
Yeah.
But the other being Splitgate, which I won't dedicate too much time to, but
well, it's a worthy comparison. I think the 2 games you just brought up. How do you feel about those 2?
So I don't have a good comparison point right now because I'm playing Splitgate on my PC, and the Halo technical preview, I only managed to get into the console version on my Xbox One. So I certainly like the controls better on keyboard and mouse for the PC Splitgate, and that's where I will be playing Infinite when it comes out. But I was just really having a hard time, swinging around and getting shots off on whatever match we were playing. But I really still like it. I think some of our games we were doing better. I will note that the technical preview that came before this one was all bots. So it was not a good
killer.
Exactly. Yeah. I felt like I was doing really well there, but this week I definitely got put in my place. So I think that's just, jumping into Halo after not playing it for a long time. It's different, and I'm excited for those differences, but I think once I get into the PC game chair, I'll feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I feel like we got in there with a bunch of sweaties, like we were getting hammered. I mean, we had pretty much a 1-to-1 KD, I think, to be fair, over the matches we played, and that's pretty much what I stuck with as well. But I'll get into it because I played a little more. I played a little more today.
Okay.
So yesterday when we played, it was just what do they call it? Death match. It's not death
Slayer.
Match. Slayer. Yeah, that's right.
Slayer.
So that's all that was running last night when we had played, but it was fun, yeah, for sure. But they had more modes rotating in and out today, so I'll get a little bit into that. But what else did you play?
I got a little more into Metroid Fusion. I'm really trying. I'm trying to get that beat before Dread, but I don't know if I'll get Dread day 1 anymore because I have some news. If this is a good time to talk about it,
I think it's the best time to talk about it. Yeah, absolutely.
So I managed to get into the Sony Direct queue for buying a console, and I did not get one. But then I got into another queue the next day that I did manage to get one. It was the disc version, so not the one I was really gunning for, but that is like the digital version. It's never available. I don't believe people who actually get those.
I'll send you my copy of Chivalry too.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Because all I have right now is Miles Morales. I don't have the console yet. I'll be getting it Wednesday, is what shipping says. So
exciting.
I did manage to sell my PS4 today, so that is gone.
Oh, cool.
So there's no turning back at this point.
Yeah, and it was pretty easy process getting rid of it. Like people
I just did it.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. I mean, so I had the console, one extra controller, and a Kingdom Hearts game that I never took out of the shrink wrap. So
Eric bought it.
Exactly. I felt bad. Like I couldn't even describe the game. It was Kingdom Hearts, the story so far. And I don't know what games that includes. I don't really know much about.
They didn't open it.
Yeah, I didn't open it. So luckily, I'm sure the person who bought it was at least aware of what that game was. So
cool.
GameStop was willing to give me $3 for it. So I chose not to go through them.
Yeah, very cool, man.
Yeah, so PS5 on the way, PS4 officially gone.
Power of podcasting. Couple. I'll call us a couple.
Yeah.
I see you all the time.
That's right.
Yeah. Check us out. PS5. Yeah. Wow, man. I'm so excited for you. Seriously. Congratulations. That's a huge deal.
That's going to be good. I'm pretty excited.
With that controller, buddy.
Yeah. That's going to be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It felt a little weird getting rid of a DualShock 4 that I theoretically could use, but
right. For
I
some
don't
games,
need it.
Yeah, for some games, it has to be a PS4 version of a game for you to use the DualShock, I think.
Sure.
It's just like kind of, odd. Right?
Yeah.
You don't get a PS5 to play the PS4 version. So, yeah.
So I'll probably jump into Miles Morales just because that's what I have right now. I don't know what my second game is going to be. There's Ratchet, there's Returnal.
Well, since our games of 2021 will be coming up shortly, I don't want to tell you which one I'd pick, but listeners probably know which one I'd pick. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. How about you? What did you jump into this week?
So I meant to mention this last week. I played a little bit. Remember my underrated games, and Flashback was my number 2. Do you remember that? Yeah.
And it's on Switch for some reason.
It was on Switch for $2. It was actually a remake that was either made for Switch or ported to Switch, but very cool. I did dip into that 2 weeks ago. I just forgot to mention it. It's like back in the day, you could controls weren't set, right? As far as now, to pull out and aim my gun, it is definitely the left trigger, 100%, and it is the right trigger to fire. These things weren't set in stone back then. So it was also a little more forgiving when it's like triangle pulls out your gun and, not triangle, whatever the top button on a Switch is. Is it triangle? I don't even know.
It is
X. Okay.
Yeah.
God,
they're all different.
Who cares, right? Like that button.
Right.
And then another one fires and you're just typically not used to it. And
that's happened to me in Metroid Fusion where it's like the right button. Yeah. It's reversed from what I would want.
Right. So yeah, it used to be, now it's set in stone. Now it's like almost like I mentioned it playing Red Dead Redemption 2, how I'm like, why did they do their own thing? Like, why couldn't they just use the standard controller?
Right.
So I couldn't really get through Flashback, not for any lack of the game, just because I don't want to put up with that anymore.
Right.
That is not how I fire a gun in a video
game,
right? Anyway, I also, at the behest of Eric, our guest last week from the Side Questing podcast, I got Death's Door. Based off of his recommendation. I actually played through it. It's a relatively short game, 4 to 6 hours, maybe.
Oh, wow.
I didn't 100% or anything, but it's really good. Soundtrack's great. Gameplay it is like people describe it as a baby Dark Souls. It is that. It's definitely not the viewpoint of a Dark Souls. It's an isometric view, not third person action. But it's good. It's got all the elements there, the big boss fights. It even has like the big titles that come out when you run and encounter these bosses. And it was a blast to play. It's getting a lot of like really, really high praise. It's a great game, very solidly made. Probably like really, really good. I don't know if the studio has done anything else. I think Acid Nerve is the name of them, but if it's their first effort, which I would be shocked if it is, because it is really well polished and it is very poignant. The story, the writing is excellent and humorous at times too. So it is definitely worth your time for $20. Like 100%. Everybody who can afford a $20 game should play through this. It's good, but it's good. It's good. It's not great. It's good. It's really, really good, but it's not like
I don't know if it's going to breach your top 10 from the way you're talking about it, but we'll see.
Honestly, at this point, it probably will be in my top 10, but I'm not going to put it in like my top 3, which some people talk as though it's the game of the year.
Right.
And to me personally, it's not that. To each their own, man. Just to me personally, not my game of the year.
Sure.
Not touching that.
You said I would probably like it.
You would, for sure. I honestly got more enjoyment out of Hades. I think that Hades probably just has more replayability and, Anyway, Halo Infinite. I did play a few more matches today.
This is your first Halo since when?
Halo 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's been a while. And I was completely honest during their survey to join Halo Waypoint. And they still invited me, so they must want my opinion about something.
Right.
But I did have a great time playing it. I did get better. Learning the maps helps a lot in these games because if I felt like the first 10 matches I played, people were constantly coming up behind me. And
I see.
Towards the end of my sessions, I didn't have that problem. I did.
Some of it is watching the radar just like constantly. So.
Yeah, but I noticed the radar is really inconsistent.
Really?
Yeah. So there'll be people shooting and I could see them. and they're 10 feet away from me and they're not popping up on my radar.
Well, they have to be moving. It's a motion tracker.
It's not just shooting too.
It's not shooting.
Not firing.
No.
Oh, wow.
It's motion. Yeah,
that's kind of crazy. All right.
And it doesn't give height indication, which they knew, and they said they're looking into it, but because I mean it's confusing when you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's around the corner, and then they're like a floor above you.
Yes, I've been turning in circles a few times, definitely. I did get to play a few more game modes, strongholds, and
what is that?
So it's there are 3 specific points on a map.
So domination,
right? Correct.
Okay,
yeah, you got to hold 2 of them to start acquiring points, and the first to 200 points wins.
Got it.
You got to hold at least 2. You could hold 3, and you accumulate points faster.
Right.
That was awesome. Really fun game mode because everybody's drawn to a point. Like combat is unavoidable. Right. Yeah, and it's great. It played really, really well. Capture the Flag played like Capture the Flag. Actually won, I think, every match I played today.
Wow.
Through no fault of my own. I mean, I did decently, better than last night, but I just think it's easier when there's that specified strategy, right? Like when there's a goal, like I play that better.
Sure.
Because you could just throw your body at something and still contribute, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it was fun. I really, really enjoyed Strongholds. Definitely out of the modes we played, that's my favorite. And then I also played Super Metroid, Brian.
Yeah,
nice. I didn't want to give this away, so I put SM in the show notes because I'm hyped for Dread. I think I'm just getting more and more hyped the closer it gets, and it's been a really, really long time since I touched Super Metroid, and it's really surprising to me. I forget how like fast you get everything in this game. It's like, oh, here's some missiles. No, here's the morph ball. Oh, here's the bombs for your morph ball. And it's like, whoa, before you know it, you've gotten the tools you need, but it's really built well as far as progression goes and finding the right pathway. And you need, you get the item and boom, you know exactly where to go.
Right.
And it's great. Always has been, but I'm really happy to dive back in. I know it's short, so
people are getting excited for Metroid, and that's cool.
It is.
It feels like the Metroid Prime days where it was, just double whammy of games, and people were very excited about that franchise.
Yeah, and I will say there's like a hashtag going around, and I'm just going to say it too. Buy Metroid Dread. Like that's the hashtag. Buy Metroid Dread. If you want more Metroid, buy Metroid Dread. And that's the truth. Like we need it. This is a franchise that is not treated like the other Nintendo franchises. It doesn't get the attention those franchises get, and it should. It really should. There's a lot of potential there. I love sci-fi, and I think these games are usually done so well. So I don't know anything about it. Don't know if it's going to be good. I'm assuming it is going to be, but buy Metroid Dread.
That's it.
One thing I did want to say, not gaming related, and I feel bad because I always eat up so much more of this time in the beginning than you do, because you're like, I played 2 games and I'm like, I did this.
I played games that I keep mentioning over and over again.
But it's cool. I go on for like 20 minutes about, stupid things about the games I played. Anyway, I haven't played any more of The Ascent, but I have actually been listening to that soundtrack a lot.
Really?
Yeah, a whole lot. I love this soundtrack. I think it's a shame sometimes when soundtracks don't get noticed because they don't fit a certain mold. I feel like we always talk about, these best soundtracks of the year, the best gaming soundtracks, and it's typically something that is like orchestrated symphony, right? Or something very like epic and, has chanting, or something very melodic and blah, blah, blah. This soundtrack is extremely well orchestrated. It is phenomenal what Powell Blaschek was able to do. He's also the person who put together the original Witcher soundtrack, actually.
Oh, wow.
But it's just not what people think of when they think of great soundtracks in video gaming, right? It doesn't have that sound. It's very industrial techno music, and it's awesome. There's a lot of depth there. It's not just like these slamming beats and in your face, like get pumped stuff. It's very melodic at times. And I just want people to pay attention to this. I think it is important because I don't hear people talking about it. And like, honestly, the soundtrack is blowing me away because it does also have those very industrial, like get pumped music. And like that gets you amped, man. I love it. I really do love it. So
it's always good when a soundtrack is listenable outside of the experience. That I think is a sign of a good soundtrack.
Yeah, and granted, like I do enjoy this type of music. I do have a predisposition to enjoying this soundtrack, right?
Sure.
So maybe not everybody feels that way about this type of music, and I understand it. But if you do like it, like that sort of industrial sound, I would highly recommend the soundtrack for a listen. If you're not going to play the
Spotify,
game, it's on Amazon Music.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm sure it's probably on Spotify.
Sure,
I don't know. I haven't searched for it there.
Yeah,
but I guess that's it for the games I've played this week.
Very cool.
Very cool. You ready to get into these lists?
I mean, so.
This news?
This news, yeah. We have
busy,
a lot of news.
Busy month for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, let's get into it.
All right.
All right, well, I'll kick it off here, Brian. I want to discuss China's 3-hour gaming limit. This actually broke probably about a month ago now.
Yeah, it was very early.
But what in the world, man? It's really, I mean, so I can't believe, I hope I don't cause an international incident by saying something like this, but like, I can't believe it's 2021. Like, this is really a shame that people can be controlled in this way. Ultimately, it should be anybody's choice to do or play as many video games as they want to play. It's a shame that this is in place, but it is what it is. The fact of the matter is there is a 3-hour gaming limit in China, and it goes deeper than that. Apparently, they can't play at all.
This is per week, right?
Yeah, but they can't play at all during the week. This is
right.
Only 3 hours, and only on the weekends are people allowed to play video games.
That sounds like my gaming schedule, honestly.
Well,
no, I know.
I mean, I get it, right? That sucks, but that's choice, man.
Yeah. No, it is.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into the politics of it.
Well, that's the thing. It's a different country that is completely different in like every aspect.
Exactly. And I don't have a deep enough understanding to really have, a really like a strong opinion on this.
Sure.
So I will say, personally, I would not be able to do that. I'd be like living my life illegally.
Or you would be living your life like with only retro consoles that don't hook up to the internet and like
true.
wouldn't be part of this at all.
No, good point.
So there was a Reddit thread on this, and some of the top comments were like, this doesn't matter. Like there's so many easy ways to get around this.
Oh, cool.
Like, people get around it all the time very easily. I haven't verified any of that because I'm not in that country, but enough people were saying like, yeah, but you can do this.
I'm curious, would you be able to use something like a VPN and like, that's all you need?
If you are able to use a VPN, and I think that might also be problematic, but
true.
So.
Well, if you're going to just start playing video games illegally, you might as well go the whole 9 yards.
Exactly.
Man, just dive in head first.
Yeah. I think it's a shocking kind of like clickbaity thing.
Yeah.
But there's like, I certainly would hate it if they implemented something like that here. It would be chaotic here.
Yeah.
But like they're doing it to curb this addiction that apparently is awful in this country.
Right. So I understand trying to do something. I do. And like, of course, being two Americans here, we have our idea of like, how could this ever happen? But like you said, it's a different country. And honestly, like I don't live there. I don't understand it, but I don't have to. And I do agree it's a clickbaity kind of topic. But I feel like it had to be mentioned on the show.
Totally.
I did notice something. This is kind of on a tangent, going through the news this month and trying to get it all on here. I sometimes just really hate how people word headlines.
Always.
Like,
yes.
People are reacting to the news about such and such. And it's like, stop it. Just tell me like what the heck your article is about.
What is the fact? Not anything
it's
else.
Never there. And it's never there in the first like 2 paragraphs. You got to keep reading. And finally they get to the point. And it's like, I don't ever want to do that, Brian. Like, we will tell people what's up,
That's right.
We'll never be like, oh, have I ever done that? Shoot, before I say this, have I ever been like, wait till you hear our number ones? I don't think I ever have.
We do have a bumper in between.
We do have a bumper,
yeah,
but it's more like for flourish than like
right.
And suspense. People like suspense, right? But like, I don't think I've ever put a post out there and I'm like, you won't believe what right? Like, doctors hate us because of our number ones, right? Like, I don't think I've done that.
7 great tips.
Yeah, if I have done it, like, please let me know, and I apologize for that. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. 3 hours. Yeah, I wouldn't like it, but I would honestly probably be able to do it and not be much of a change in my life.
Right.
But yeah. That isn't to say I want more. So
I played more than 3 hours. That'd be a problem.
There are definitely days where it's like, 3 hours is like one session for sure. So yeah. All right. Well, next piece of news here: the PlayStation upgrade path continues to be confusing for all of their games. So again, we're in a transitory period between consoles, PS4, PS5, Xbox stuff, and I guess Guerrilla, makers of Horizon, came out and said that, you wouldn't be able to get you would have to basically buy the PS5 version of the game if you want the PS5 version. And you're not automatically upgraded from PS4 versions of Horizon, which it's still, I mean, I got a console.
That's what I was about to say.
It's still really hard to get it. And
we're in an age where like people would actively avoid buying your game on PS4 if they plan on getting a PS5. That was really weird, to come out and say that. Yeah. So,
I mean, that's, they have since came out and said like, okay, if you get the PS4 version, you get the PS5 version at no extra cost. So it's actually beneficial to buy the PS4 version because it's $10 less.
Yeah.
And you still get that PS5 version.
So I don't do this, but if you're a collector, buy that physical PS5 version and just never open it. Because nobody's going to buy it.
Right.
You'll be one of the few who
exactly.
Who yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing. They mentioned like, I don't know, 3 or 4 different editions of this game. With being up into the $250 range. Even with the biggest, like I think the $250 one comes with a digital version of the game. And like, that's not what collectors want. They want the actual like disc in there. It's just crazy to me that they went that way.
So it doesn't come with both?
No, it comes with, I think it comes with a steel book, but no disc.
Oh,
it's just a code.
Oh, right? Gosh. Because I was thinking, if it came with both, that's pretty cool. Because then you could not open it and just maybe they email you a digital code or something. Sure. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. Not the case.
Yeah. That is so weird.
But they have said that they're gonna just still make it so you have to pay if you buy like God of War, for instance. You're gonna have to pay. Exactly.
Yeah. They said it's going to be a standard $10 like upcharge though, which hey, that makes sense to me. If it's $10 more on the PS5, then exactly.
I'm not going to buy 2 versions of a game. Right. It's just not happening.
It's just like unfathomable that somebody came out and like this message was given to the public. Side note, I can't wait for Advance Wars 1 and 2. That's going to be so good. And I want to spend $60 on that. I mean, it's Nintendo gets away with it, is my point. Like, we've already seen and purchased those games, and here we go again. We're going to do it again. Nintendo gets a pass.
Right.
We'll get to that later. But I do want Advance Wars 1 and 2, and I'd pay $60 for it. So, but I haven't played them in like 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, apparently they had promised that the upgrade would be free months ago. So that's why they were beholden to that. And that's why future games are not.
Right.
But it's crazy.
Different than how Xbox does it. And, as much as it didn't seem like a big deal at the beginning, the Play Anywhere and just smart delivery is Xbox's term. It makes it a lot easier. I mean, in the most recent upgrade to the like Sony dashboard, whatever you want to call it, they finally have a way to see which version of a game you're playing, if it's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
they all need to improve, I think.
Yeah, 100%. No, I mean, at the end of the day, their business is trying to make a dime, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
But I do. So this brings up an interesting point. There's also this thing about Game Pass being the best value in gaming, right? And I feel like we'll get into it more maybe a little later. Maybe it's better for me to hold this thought till we get into like the Nintendo Direct stuff. But like there are really good deals out there aside from Game Pass, you know.
Oh, totally.
But even Game Pass, like they're making money.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian, there was a Matrix trailer.
Yes.
It's 2021. There's a Matrix movie coming out.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's wild.
It is wild. I thought the trailer looked cool. Really cool. I'm excited. I'm excited because you said you had not seen the third movie, but you saw the second one, right?
Correct.
Right.
But it's been since then, like the release date of that I've seen the movie, so I don't remember much.
I feel like the sequels get a very bad rep. They were enjoyable action films. I think they've aged better. People have really added a lot to them by picking them apart and finding all the subtext and really coming up with theories about the overall meaning of it all. And it seems like, given the new trailer, like we're back in it. We're back in the Matrix, baby. So now, is Neo a program? Is Trinity a program? Is everybody a program? Because honestly, like, I mean, spoiler alert for a now almost 15, it's definitely 15-year-old movie, right?
For the third movie?
For the third one, right?
Yeah. It's like early 2000s.
Yeah. So Neo dies.
Okay.
But like, obviously he's not dead in this, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I'm really interested to see what they do with this. I'm excited. I love the Matrix movies. They were formative in my life.
Right.
And yeah, I didn't go around wearing a trench coat or anything, but it's probably a big reason why I like the Ascent soundtrack.
Oh.
But I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this. I can't wait to see what they do with it and how they reintroduce the Matrix and the complexity of it all, because it's going to be complex. They're going to have to come with some way to explain what's going on. And
right.
I really just can't wait to hear what that explanation is.
Yeah. And you won't have to leave your house.
I know. Same with Dune. Dune's coming out like in a week or two.
Yeah.
And I don't have to leave my house.
That's it.
Thanks, HBO. Yeah.
Very good.
Do you have any thoughts on the Matrix trailer?
Not really. I mean, I watched it, liked it, and I mean, people keep saying John Wick, and I mean, yes.
Yeah, it's Keanu Reeves. Like,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got long hair. Cool.
Yeah, better than saying like Ted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Whoa.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. I should probably watch the third movie. I should probably watch all of them again to get ready for this one, because I feel like I'll be a little lost if I don't watch anything again.
I think they're all on HBO Max right now, actually.
That seems like it would be the way to go then. Yeah, that's about it. All right, so let's see. Let me take this Apple versus Epic one, if you don't mind.
For sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, there's been developments. The main thing was that I guess Epic won 1 out of like 10 of the counts. But yeah, Apple won the majority of the different lawsuits that are floating around. And Apple is now completely saying Fortnite is blacklisted and will not be part of things for the foreseeable future. But yeah, I mean, this is not terribly surprising. Apple is gonna, they're one of the biggest corporations in the entire world, so they're obviously gonna put forth their best effort to rule everything in their favor that they can.
I think an interesting takeaway too is that people don't have to make purchases through Apple now for in-app.
So
purchases.
that's
huge. I think that's a big win. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because that was the crux of Epic's argument, was that people should be able to buy these things and funnel through us and not have to go through this other party. And it's all of this stuff. Like, at a certain point, I don't care because it's just two mega corporations duking it out.
Right.
And
I know.
like, certainly I want developers to get more money. Like that is obviously the best thing. And it's what Epic is counting on the public opinion to sway in their favor.
Yeah.
But all these corporations are going to do whatever they can to make the most amount of money.
Definitely. So. Yeah. The article I read on it was from Sean Hollister at The Verge. Mm-hmm. And he alluded to the fact that the judge was kind of like done with both companies. Thought they were both like acting like babies, I think is how he put it in the article. Yeah. She seemed very, short on patience with both of them by the end of the whole procedure. So, but I do think it's a big win for gamers. Like Apple can't have upcharges or basically like make money off of transactions they have nothing to do with.
Right.
So I think that's good.
Yeah. It's interesting how, Xbox and PlayStation are doing the same thing. They're taking their cuts in Fortnite, but it's, there's a big target on Apple's back for sure to get some of these policies changed. And
but you said it was weird too, even playing like Xbox on Apple. You have to go to a web browser to access it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's so archaic, and it's the walled garden, rearing its ugly head, and for better or worse. How
I do it. It's like, pull out this bad boy.
Oh, I know.
Well, here it is, Game Pass.
Hey, I have it's easy on the Apple now too. It's just through a browser. Yeah. So it's a bookmark that I hit and then I'm in it. Right. But you can see the redirects like, okay, we're going to this site, then this site, then this site. Okay, here you go.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as it should be.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
all these things are very silly, but definitely. Here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. I mean, I'm glad it's over, but it's actually kind of not, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're still fighting it. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, it's probably the last time we'll talk about it.
Exactly.
Because we've been talking about this for a long time on the show, actually.
Right. Well, I mean, these things take a lot of time to resolve. Yeah. So that's no surprise.
We were little babies, though.
That's right.
So the next news story has to do with Naughty Dog. It's an interesting one because today we're recording is Saturday the 25th, and this episode will air on Monday the 27th. However, this has to do with Sunday, the day that falls in between both those days. So by the time this airs, you will already know what this is. But Naughty Dog came out and teased new content for The Last of Us because of Outbreak Day. So September 26th, for those of you that don't know, is Outbreak Day. In the past, Naughty Dog have released merchandise and, done some minor things to celebrate this day. But the communications chief from Naughty Dog came out and said, this is quotes, "We will be revealing some all new content," end quote. I would say temper your expectations. They haven't really done anything huge in the past, but there are rumors that they are developing, what is it? Factions.
Yes. Multiplayer.
Right. A new multiplayer for Last of Us Part 2. And the fact that he came out and said anything about it makes me feel like it's something major. This is on top of the merchandise that Sony's releasing. So it definitely isn't the merchandise content. So who knows?
Give me a clue.
Nope.
Clue. Hey, stop it.
I'm like, I know I say temper expectations, but I'm really excited. I'm hoping it's something cool.
Yeah. Did you play a lot of Factions?
I played none of it.
Okay.
None of it.
I jumped in like, I don't know, two or three times. And
but anything from Naughty Dog, I'm kind of on board with.
And people loved Factions, and there's a reason why there's a lot of hype behind it.
Yeah, so I will say, by the time you hear this, you'll know if it's even a big deal or not, because you've either heard of it because it is a big deal, or you haven't because it was nothing. So there you go.
So if it's The Last of Us Part 3, then there was reason to be excited.
Exactly. If it's not, then I'm upset and crying right now as you're listening to this.
Perfect. All right. Well, moving along here, Splitgate.
Yeah, this is up your alley.
Yeah. I'll gladly take this one. Splitgate they did their own little hey, we're gonna reveal some information tomorrow kind of thing, and everyone was thinking like, oh geez, they're selling to some big corporation, and they're a small team and they're just gonna take the money and run. But they have secured 100 million in investment, and they are remaining independent. So this is just outside investment. They're allowed to do what they've been doing. It's not under any huge corporation, Microsoft, Epic, none of that. They're still doing their own thing. So that's good. That means that they continue to hold control over their assets and direction. And I think that's only a good thing, because I've talked about this game for like the past 8 times of our shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, people know I'm a fan.
I really enjoyed my time with it. It's just one of those things, I have a hard time playing even Halo Infinite in this limited beta. Right. I'll play like 3 or 4 matches, but like I got into this. There's like a lot of anxiety they're playing online.
Oh yeah.
And sure. I always feel like I have to be good. I have to perform decently.
Right.
Especially when there's team elements. So I enjoyed Splitgate a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I don't know when I'll play it again. I probably will at some point. It's just, there's a lot. I don't want to play online.
I know. It can be nerve wracking, especially if you try competitive stuff. I just turn off the mic and don't listen to anyone, because that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. It's not even that. There is toxicity out there, unfortunately, but it's really not even that. It's just,
you want to please your teammates, right?
Well, I also want to like do good, right? I also want to like have a positive KD, and
sure.
Anyway, but very exciting news. I'm glad they're staying independent. Obviously a talented studio.
I think they know that they have something and they want to really flourish there.
Yeah, this could be a platform. It could last a while, for sure.
The fact that like people are playing the Halo beta and being like, I'm going to go back to Splitgate, because that is scratching the itch that Splitgate is very like unabashedly doing what Halo 3 was doing back then.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get people to play that game again.
Yeah. Like I'm playing Halo and I'm like, where are these portals, man?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny. It's things like this that just blow my mind, right? Splitgate is Halo with portals.
Yes. That's it.
It's obviously more than that, and it deserves its own credit. I'm not, downplaying it. But why do I suck at Halo? And I was like pretty darn good at Splitgate.
Yeah. I don't know. The guns this
What's wrong with
time around of Halo. So I think one big thing, and I haven't played all the Halo multiplayers, like especially 5. Like I didn't even touch that. But the time to kill is like,
oh gosh, it takes forever.
It really is forever. And that can make for some fun cat and mouse. But for Splitgate, it's like, all right, who starts shooting first? Like you're the winner.
Right.
And that's kind of what Halo was, especially for like SWAT and things like that.
But you're right, it is a lot of time to kill, and like people jump and duck and I'm like, God, I could land the first 10 shots, but not the next 50. And that's what it takes. Like it takes more than a clip. It takes more than an entire clip. That's crazy.
And I couldn't switch guns while we were playing. So I managed,
right, because your button didn't work.
Yeah, no, so my button does work. There was something wrong where I couldn't switch weapons. I managed to be able to throw away one of my weapons
by holding
it. You can throw it down, and then like I was left with one sidearm at that point. So
crazy. Well, moving right along, man. We are moving at a hearty clip here.
Oh, but we've got some big ones.
Yeah, we're gonna. I think we're kind of trying to get to that, right?
Right.
So the next piece of news here is a Twisted Metal TV show is coming, starring none other than Falcon, or should I say Captain America himself, Anthony Mackie, and it is going to be from the Deadpool writers as well.
Oh boy!
So there's a lot of potential there. Yeah. Nothing really major at this point. It's coming. They're making it. I'm excited for it. Obviously, like, I don't know. I think this property is very tricky to translate into a good TV show. That's the one thing I'll say. Like, I am excited for this, and I really hope it does great. I always hope any video game media, film, television does phenomenally. I think it's great for the industry, but like, Yeah, I don't know about this one. Like, of all the things to translate to TV,
Right.
Twisted Metal is not an easy one, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, it's like car combat, man.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you
yeah.
like? If it's Mad Max, that'd be cool. But I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it will be Mad Max. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about that because I'm not the biggest Twisted Metal fan. Like it seems cool.
Yeah.
I like Anthony Mackie. He's been fun.
I do too. I wouldn't say I'm a big Twisted. Am I a big Twisted Metal fan? I played the first two and I played them a lot.
I think that makes you a pretty big Twisted Metal fan.
Twisted Metal Black, I played and beat with like every single character. I played Twisted Metal Black. I broke the wheels off that. And yeah, so maybe I am
you are
Twisted Metal fan. Yeah.
Officially now.
All right, cool.
All right. Well, did you know that Quantic Dreams is making a Star Wars game?
I've heard this. Yeah.
So Quantic Dreams, makers of Quantum Break, Heavy Rain.
Did they do Quantum Break?
That's someone else.
But I thought I had the same exact thought. That is weird. They did Detroit Become Human.
Is it Beyond Two Souls?
I think that's the people who did. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I've got it all mixed up then.
So they definitely did Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the people who did Detroit Become Human also did Beyond Two Souls, I'm pretty sure.
All right, let's find this out.
Maybe
they did Beyond Two Souls.
Okay.
We got that. And Fahrenheit was another one of theirs. Okay. However, what was the other one? That one's
Quantum Break is not
them. Okay. I'm gonna find out who.
Yeah, find out that because I'm interested.
Because I thought the same thing, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the quantum entanglement.
Yeah, right. Gosh, we're going into Ant-Man territory here. Right. Quantum Break was by Remedy.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's on Game Pass if you want to play it.
Remedy, good turnaround, man. Good turnaround. I'll say that much.
Right?
You did good.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see what that works out to be. I mean, their games are very much about dialogue and talking about stuff, and Star Wars can be good at that. There's a lot of Trade Federation blockades.
I'm sorry, I love the way you put that too. The games are very much about talking about stuff. I mean, it's true though, dude. Yeah. It's gonna be like a choice-based Star Wars game,
right?
Which is cool. Like, I would definitely play a game like that.
Yeah,
I really did enjoy Heavy Rain. I'd be lying if I told you I didn't. I know it gets like infinitely memed now. I mean, you talked about it, right?
Jar Jar.
Yeah, Jason. Jar Jar. What is it? Jason. Oh God. But I didn't play Detroit Become Human. I've heard very good things about it. And I just never got myself into it. I have it actually. I got it free when it was on PS Plus like years ago. But never ended up playing it. I think I should. I actually always was under the impression it was another Heavy Rain, which I remember being a long game, and I wasn't prepared for that, but apparently it's very short.
Okay.
So I would give that a go. This maybe isn't the Star Wars game I would have wanted, but like it could be good.
Right.
It could be good. It could be bad.
It's no Pod Racer episode 2, but
no, I mean that's what we should be getting. That's a people's Star Wars game right there, baby. Yeah. Jason. Our next our next one is a big one, Brian. Yeah. This is what we were going to.
Here we are.
The next two are huge, but we're gonna start with the PlayStation Showcase.
Yes.
Yeah, this happened. Did you like it? Did you think it was good?
I did.
Yeah,
same. Didn't catch every single thing, but went back and watched the things that I knew would be interesting to me.
So I ended up watching the whole thing live, and I was just like, from the get, it was that initial reveal of KOTOR remake that got me super amped.
Sure.
I can't believe they let off with that.
Yeah.
Well, at first they're showing this cool thing that has people running through a city, and it's like people playing chess, and then all these people are doing like moves throughout the city based off of the chess game, and I'm like, what game is this? And then at one point in that trailer they show Uncharted like billboard on the side of a building, and I'm like, oh my God, is this a new game from Naughty Dog? Like, what are we seeing right now? And it looked super cool. And then it's like, play has no limits.
Oh.
And I'm like, what the heck is this? Yeah, I felt very disappointed by that, I will say.
Yeah.
But then they went right into the Knights of the Old Republic remake and like, hey, cool, man.
So we don't know much about that at all. There's no release date. We know it's coming on PlayStation first, and PC.
But. Yeah. So it's interesting too. It's not gonna be obviously not made by BioWare. Yeah. So what is it? Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be Knights of the Old Republic as we remember Knights of the Old? I do hope they do something new. I do hope it's not the same game with a new skin. But I don't know the developer that's behind it, and there's a lot that could happen. Is what I'm trying to say. I am excited, but
I'm pretty sure EA has nothing to do with it because they came out and said like, we wish them luck.
Yeah.
So
yeah, very little to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Yeah, exactly. So
we got so I'm just looking at a list of everything that was announced there. So Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, I'm excited about. Cool. Let me see. Did your list have? Okay, so there's a couple things. Let me just point out. So for Wonderlands, this looks very much like the DLC from Borderlands 2 that was Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, which was really fun. And I think I mentioned it last week a little bit. Just if the whole game is that, then I'm kind of down. I want to see obviously what people are thinking about it, because Borderlands 3, that was a regretful experience. There was a lot wrong with it.
Five below, guys.
I saw that. That's crazy. But yeah, Borderlands 3 had a lot of issues. I think there were a lot of things that were not fixable through just like a patch. It was just like fundamental issues that I had with it. But it seems like they probably have read all of that feedback and are trying to make something that people will like. So I'm hopeful for this.
Yeah. I mean, I like the new fresh take too. It's not fresh, like you said, they did this through DLC before, but like it is fresh for Borderlands. It's something they haven't really delved on often.
Sure.
So yeah, it's good. I think it'll be good. I probably won't get it just because I don't have the history there. They also did, and I'll just go through this real quick, a game, Project Eve. It looked kind of Souls-ish, but very like techno-futuristic. You're a female character who is beating up big robots. It seemed cool. Graphics were good. I don't know who's making the game. It's just kind of one of those, I felt at the time it was like a filler game, and it's definitely a wait and see. Granted, I felt the same way about Returnal, and completely loving that game. So, who knows what this could become.
Sure.
Really early though. Then there was Forspoken, which looked really good. Cool idea. Person taken out of the real world into this fantastical world, and she has awesome abilities. And I think some of the dialogue was really cool of her discovering those abilities. The genuine surprise, and it's very well acted too. Just the like, oh my god, wait, like that's a dragon, and it's like, yeah, no, that's what somebody would say, right? Like if they saw a dragon, they'd be like, oh, what am I doing here? So it was very good. Interested to see what that becomes. It's a Square Enix game, so definitely talented people behind it.
Sure.
Anything else you want to get into here? I mean, you want to just go up the list? There's Rainbow Six Extraction, whatever.
There were a lot more games that I was just like, I mean, Guardians looks cool, but
it does.
That's Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't have any knowledge or anything about this, but people seem excited. So
yeah, this felt like the first time anybody got knowledge about the game. Actually, they showed a story, they showed a character, they had dialogue, and it's like, whoa, hold on, there might actually be a game here.
Sure.
So it was good to see that there is something there other than just, I think, the little snippets they had shown in the past of the combat. So it definitely got me more interested than I was before.
Sure.
But it's at this point, it's not something that I'm excited for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alan Wake. Alan Wake. I don't. Alan Wake was fun when I played it. I don't see myself really delving back into it.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say on that one. I feel like I beat that game out of obligation because I was playing it and was like 80% done and was just thinking, I guess I'll just finish this. I'm not really hooked anymore, but yeah, it's a weird game for me.
I'd play through it after Control. I mean, after playing Control, I'd definitely get into Alan Wake.
Okay.
For the right price.
Sure.
It's like out. Yeah. It's out like really soon, October 5th, I think.
Wow.
Comes out.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm excited about Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy coming to PC. I want to see what that looks like.
On your computer, it's going to look real good.
Yeah. I don't know how disappointed I am to not have the rest of the Nathan Drake collection, but 4 and Lost Legacy are the ones to see. I couldn't care less about 1 anymore at this point.
Right.
I don't need to play that game ever again.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4 and Lost Legacy, I could see myself going through again.
Yeah. Deathloop
made its debut again. Like it's been at every single conference or direct or showcase, like everything. So
they must have known what they had because people love it.
Oh yeah.
People really, really love it.
I have not played it at all, but I either have to get it on Epic Game Store, which I'm not super thrilled with. I like having all the game. It's not a big deal, but it's just another store to have to like open up every time.
Right.
But I don't know. That's probably where I would get it.
Sorry.
Yeah. You're going to wait for Xbox
100%.
Yeah.
It's going to come to Game Pass probably.
Yeah.
Like
for it has a year exclusivity.
Yeah. So I will wait that year and then play that game, and I'll probably get all the DLC that comes out in the meantime too.
Oh, so, yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Sure. So do you want to get into the big hitters?
These are the big ones now.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
So can I mention?
Yeah, you do it.
Okay, because I'm a huge comic book fan.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I've been reading Matt Fraction's run on Hawkeye lately. I mentioned Hoopla a few episodes ago, and that you can rent comic books from your local library through Hoopla. So I'm still reading Doctor Strange, and I'm reading Moon Knight, but I'm currently reading Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run, which is what the Hawkeye series will be based on. And I mentioned the X-Men comics, really loved them. This is totally an aside, but these are really cool when they could do like these character pieces that are down to earth. It's not the big global catastrophe. It's not the big threat. It's just a story about a person who is human at the end of the day. And if this is what they're using for the inspiration for the show, I'm totally sold on it. It's really, really awesome if you ever get the chance to check it out. That being said, I'm a huge comic book fan, huge Wolverine fan. I grew up loving Wolverine. I feel like he was very much the character of the 90s.
Sure.
So he was my favorite character in comic books for a very long time. Wolverines! And I am so very excited for this game. It's an Insomniac behind it, so the utmost faith it will turn out to be a good game. They didn't show much. It's a long ways off. Those are the only two things I have to say negatively about it. I can't see it being an open world game at all. I just cannot see that happening.
We need an up close and personal, brutal Wolverine game.
Yeah.
And the trailer gave that vibe. So I feel 100%. Like that's kind of what they want.
Yeah. And I'm okay with it being more story driven. Like if it, I had talked about open field in The Last of Us Part 2 compared to The Last of Us Part 1, but if this game was more along the sets of The Last of Us Part 1, I feel like that would work. Like more corridor, tighter spaces. Like, oh gosh, give me that game right now. Right now.
I think it's worth noting. I forget what developer said this on Twitter, but a lot of the times when they show like this CG trailer and no gameplay, it's just in an effort to get talent from around the industry to say like, hey, we're going to make this. And if you want to be a part of it, like, let's jump on board. Yeah. They don't necessarily have anything done with actually making the game, but it's just to jazz people up.
I can imagine they got a lot of talent from that trailer. Yeah, for sure.
So that's not the only Marvel game that Insomniac talked about, but Spider-Man 2 is another release that how is Insomniac just making all these games?
They don't sleep.
Right.
Their name is Insomniac.
That's it. Yeah. Must be it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this looks good. I mean, Venom is a big part of it.
Yeah.
It felt like it had both Peter Parker and Miles Morales. If they have a multiplayer component to this, then that'd be unbelievable. Yeah. Just to be able to like swing in a city with another person would be crazy. They didn't say anything or really indicate that that's what's happening here, but that would still be cool if something like that happened.
If it's a PS5 exclusive, like I don't see why they could, like why they would be limited, right?
Right.
They definitely would probably have the power to do something like that. And I would love to see it. That's the first thing I thought too. Is like, oh my gosh, a co-op. Let's do this.
Right.
You know? Like,
so who's going to be Spider-Man and who's going to be Miles?
I'll be either one, man.
Okay.
Like you take your pick. I personally loved Miles Morales. Like you got to play the game, man. I can't wait to hear your impressions.
That's my first one.
But I would gladly be Peter B. Parker.
Yeah. So I'm a little concerned. So the only way I only have 1080p TVs, like that's the max. But there are performance enhancements like with frame rate and stuff that I can use on the PS5, right? What isn't there something to like, or does Miles Morales have all the bells and whistles all the time?
So it's like fidelity mode or performance
so you do have to
mode.
Choose.
Yeah, okay. I think it's the same as Ratchet and Clank was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just always be choosing performance.
Oh, I mean, I have a 4K TV and I choose performance.
Gotcha.
Like it's that 60 frames per second, man, is just, it's where it's
makes the difference
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure makes the difference. I mean, because even if you're running, I mean, now granted, playing Ratchet, it added like particle effects. There were things in the environment that weren't there before.
Sure.
So you should experience it, but none of that motion blur goes a long way.
Right.
Yeah. Venom and Kraven too, I think, was the person narrating it. The Russian accent that was narrating like, who will pose me a challenge? I think that was Kraven the Hunter. I would have to assume the Green Goblin's going to be involved in some way based off of the first Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Based off of what occurred in that game. And they even kind of had, well, never mind.
It's fine.
All right.
I'm going to forget.
It's nothing major anyway. It definitely doesn't affect the story of Miles Morales whatsoever, but they had like a little snippet that involved the characters from, alluding to the Green Goblin at the end of Miles Morales. It's funny how I tried to tiptoe around that and I end up just sounding like an idiot. So there you go.
Good.
Thanks. But yeah, there was one more game at the PlayStation Showcase, and it, of course, was God of War.
Gran Turismo 7.
Oh, first of all, let's talk about You can take God of War. I want to talk about Gran Turismo 7. Seriously, I do. They put this thing out there, and it was like, the music was insanely like fired up, epic, blah, blah, blah. And they're just showing like the hood of a car and like swapping different paint jobs to like this crazy intense music. And I was like, calm down, dude.
Right.
Like, it's Gran Turismo 7. I'm sure people care, but like, you got to slow down. Like, it's not that big of a deal, man.
So that's
maybe it is. Maybe it's not to me, but maybe it is. Yeah.
Looking at that trailer versus the Horizon one, the Xbox car game, Horizon got me way more pumped with what they were showing off. And like, I'm actually excited to play.
Forza Horizon.
Forza. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm like,
it's Forza Horizon, right?
Yeah. It's like Forza Horizon 5.
Okay.
So you weren't wrong. You weren't wrong. You were just like being cool about it. Using the slang term.
Yeah. Forza. I'm way more excited for that. Like I was never ever going to pick up Gran Turismo 7,
right.
But Forza, I'm going to play it. I have it. I'm going to try it. They got me excited.
Yeah. Like arcade racer.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of more arcadey, I guess I should say. Like that's just more fun. Like if I want to drive a car, I got one.
Right. But yes, the game of the show, like by all accounts, Wolverine.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
God of War. I mean, wow. I'm pretty cynical about these showcases. Like they're not going to show anything.
Right.
I was not expecting God of War anytime soon, especially since they like recently came out and said like don't count on it until 2022. But they've got a game that they showed a lot of different aspects of it.
A lot, yeah.
A lot. And I am thoroughly excited, and it spurred me to get into these Sony Directs queues because I have to have a PlayStation 5 to play God of War the best way I can.
That's awesome. Well, I'm very happy that this happened. And I had done an Instagram story at List Off Podcast on Instagram. Seriously, if you ever want to chat with us, send us a message. I'd probably talk to you. Yeah, I like talking about video games if you haven't noticed. But it was when the showcase was announced, and I was like, God of War news? Because I was hopeful. You know how I am about these things. I enjoy getting fired up about these things and always coming up with the biggest and like wildest dreams about them.
Yeah.
I was very pleased that this occurred, that this actually happened. Tyr is apparently not dead, as we thought from the first game.
Yeah.
Then everybody's back. All the characters you know and love. It looks like a lot more enemy variety. It looks like they said you'll actually be able to travel to all 9 realms in the game. So that was cool. It did kind of bother me in the first game that you couldn't travel to some of them. I was like, well, what's this? And then, obviously you're like, oh, well, there's a sequel coming.
Exactly.
And it looks like they're carrying over a lot of the story, all the story from the first game. Different director. So we'll see, Yeah. We'll see.
And this is it. This is the last of the Norse games.
It is.
So
yeah, and
I'm okay with that. Seems good.
Yeah. I hate to ask this question, but when things pop in my head, I say them. Do you think Kratos will die?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Too cliche.
I feel like they just wait a long time and make another game just set in a different place, but with the same engine. Or not even engine, but like the same type of gameplay. Yeah. Or maybe reinvent it all the way over again. I mean, God of War does not go away, and I think Kratos is,
he's
an extra. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, I agree. With that. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that about wraps up the PlayStation showcase.
Yeah.
Get through the bumper to find out what we talk about next. Oh God, our listeners hate us.
No, that's perfect.
That's it. That's how we do things here. Clickbait, baby.
Right.
So we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct now.
Yes. This is fresh news.
Yeah. Imagine that. We're actually like timely with our news episode. Sometimes it really does work out nicely, though.
Yeah.
Timing wise. Yeah.
So I did not catch this entire one again, but
I have too much time on my hands.
Oh, no. Well, so this it was crazy. This showcase, we knew about it the day before, and I start watching it, and then 2 seconds later, I get the Twitter notification: PS5 queue is open. So I jumped off of this and then opened like 3 computers worth of tabs, and then was like checking in every once in a while, but making sure I didn't lose my place in line. So I don't know if they did that on purpose, but yeah, it seems to have thinned out the crowd enough for me to get a PS5. So
that's
I'm happy
cool
about that.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So I just want to run through some of the games that we're probably not going to talk about much, if I'm not wrong. Really, the one that we're not going to talk about much that has interest to me. I don't want to run through every game. I feel like some of them we don't really have to get into. But Bayonetta 3, I'm sure there are people excited about. I know this series has a big following. Neither one of us.
I want to like it, but
yeah. We just don't follow it, But
I tried. I really tried with the first game.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't for me.
I get it. Yeah, no, it was cool. Cool trailer. Finally more news. So if you've been looking forward to that game, I bet this is a very welcome trailer.
Yeah.
For you.
Because they said 2017 so it's getting like that's where Metroid Prime 4 will be, will be there and equally as static when they did that.
So that means 2.5 years from now.
I know.
They had to restart development 2.5 years into it.
We'll see.
Yeah. I dread that.
Me too.
I also really quick want to get into Splatoon 3. They had shown a lot of stuff from that. It looks like they definitely had enough content to make a new game.
And it seems like a lot of single player stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Return of the Mammalians. God, I love the guy. I absolutely love the guy who comes out and does the Splatoon announcements. How he always does like the when he used to do like the Splatoon 2.
Right.
And now he does the Splatoon 3 and he lifted his leg up. I'm like, this guy's the best, man. And I love how they always play it like, oh, we're from the research center and come out here to tell you about, it's
so
great.
Goofy.
It's so good though. I love that stuff, man. Yeah, it looks good. I honestly probably won't be getting it. I feel like I absolutely loved Splatoon 2. Go back and listen to our top 10 Switch games if you want to hear about how much I love it. But I feel like I got my Splatoon out of the way. I feel like playing online, if that's the focus again, it's not my mindset right now. It's not where I'm at. But that being said, I probably will end up getting it just for Splatfest, right? Splatfest are great. But yeah, it looks good. Looks like a lot of content there.
It does.
Yeah.
So what else we got? The Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Yeah, that's
going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Another kind of 3D Kirby game. It looked to me kind of like the Kirby 64 Crystal Shards, except a little more like that was all side scroller. This seems like they want you to think you're in an open world, but it's still kind of side scrollery. And like, things are turning and whatnot, but it still seemed like a pretty set path. And they want you to look at things they only want you to look at what they are focused on.
Right.
So
it's interesting though. The look of the game, it kind of, what's that island? It was in a James Bond movie. It's like the abandoned island. I think it's off Japan. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was cool look. I mean, he's like on Earth, if I had to guess, which is kind of crazy, but Mario made it here, so why can't Kirby, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey. Disco Elysium is coming to Switch.
Yeah, I know people are excited about that.
People should be excited about it. It's a great game. I enjoyed it more than Death's Door.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe we're not ranking top 10 of 2021. So like, I'm going to change my mind on that one probably. And we learned that the next and final Ultimate character won't be announced till October 5th.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You want to take anything next, Brian? I'm putting off the big announcements, so they're on you.
Sure. Well, I mean, I want to go ahead and talk about Castlevania Advance Collection because that is a huge one for me. And it's available today, which is like always when they do that, it just drums up even more excitement. But these games are phenomenal. I loved all the Castlevania Advance games. I didn't play, I think Dracula X is another one that they include, which cool. I don't know where that comes from. I know that it was on PSP, but I'm not sure what the origination of that was. But all of the Game Boy Advance games are really good. Aria of Sorrow being just one of the best ever. And this was the Castlevania Circle of the Moon was the first Game Boy Advance game that I got. And I love me some Mario, but I didn't want to pick up something that I had already played. But Castlevania proved to be just a really good game. I had to shine a light on my Game Boy Advance to see anything in this game. But yeah, now this is a much more definitive way to play it, and you get things like rewind and save states and whatnot. So
yeah, definitely the way to play it. You'll be able to see what you're doing. Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah,
so.
Well, for $20 too. You honestly have me interested in it. If Super Metroid wasn't there to play, I may have ended up purchasing this game.
Sure, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Yeah. It's a very good game.
Yeah, I figure in 6 months it'll be $10, right?
Maybe
this is one of those that'll go on sale, I think, because it's not a Nintendo first party game. So I can see it eventually going on sale, and maybe I'll wait.
It's already a crazy deal.
I know.
Like, I don't know. They could have done $30 easily, and people still would have bought this.
I can't help but think like I'm still paying for Game Pass every month, and I'm getting Dread and Advance Wars, and that's $120. And like I'm probably going to end up getting a PS5 game somewhere in there too. And now we're talking like almost $200 right there. Yeah. So like, I got to be smarter about this sort of thing. So, of course, I'm going to put off our bigger announcements again, Brian, because I do want to talk about this. Triangle Strategy is the name of the game now, baby. We did it. Man, I wish Eric was here to celebrate with us. We did it. And then another one I wanted to talk about. It looks good. Yeah, looks good. Yeah. Tactics game. Looks great. So anyway, Shadowrun trilogy, man, Shadowrun games, 16-bit Shadowrun games are not to be slept on. And apparently,
so what is the genre of that?
It's based on a tabletop RPG.
Okay.
So it is like cyberpunky. It's an RPG, but I remember them being extremely good. I only played one of the games. I think I may have played the Genesis version, but the Super Nintendo version is widely regarded to be the better one. But the Genesis one was phenomenal. So I don't know what's included in this trilogy, but I am pretty sure it is that original 16-bit game. And if it is, like, really cool. Nice. Yeah, I'll go ahead and find out for sure if you want to take the next bit of news.
Sure. Let's see. I mean, are we talking the big stuff now?
I think we're getting into the big stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, one of my really exciting things is Nintendo is presumably going to charge us more money, but they are adding in N64 games and Sega Genesis games to Nintendo Switch Online. They said that they're going to talk about pricing later, which all but confirms it for me that they're going to be increasing the price of this service. Yeah. But my summoning circle worked, and Winback.
I know
Winback is part of
Dude, they showed it. When they showed it, I was like, "Oh my god, it's Winback!"
It's Winback. Would you have even cared if we hadn't talked about it?
No, I would not have even known who that was. I wouldn't have known. What's the guy's name? Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc. It stuck with me. So your passion carried over.
Dude, if they have online multiplayer for Winback on the Nintendo Switch Online, we are playing it, and we are going to roll around and cover shoot each other.
Yeah, I told you we're going to roll. We're going to do this. We are going to do this. Yeah, man. So this is what I was alluding to before when I said people talk about Game Pass as though it's the best deal in gaming, which in a lot of ways it is.
Yeah.
People crap on the Nintendo Online service. Legitimately, it's a common thing. And honestly, yes, could they have more games there? Yeah, there's a huge library for the SNES and NES that they could put on there. I don't know the programming side of it, and I definitely don't know the licensing side of it, but it makes me think that they are either trying to just continue a steady interest in it by releasing games every so often, or there's some back end issue that they run into with bringing games to the service. But for $20 a year to play games online, granted it's a Nintendo Online thing, but it's a great retro game service for somebody like me who doesn't have a collection anymore.
So I'm gonna push back a lot on this one.
People do. I understand this. Yeah.
So here's the thing: their plan is not to release a steady stream of these because they've had plenty of opportunities.
It's few and far between. Yeah.
They just we've seen it with the NES and the Super NES. There's still tons of games that they're giving us the bottom of the barrel stuff at this point.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what the N64 is. It's the good first party stuff, and then I would argue everything else is kind of bottom of the barrel.
You're not wrong.
But I don't yes, it's a good deal. It's a phenomenal deal if you've never played any of these games. You're set for life at that point.
Look, I know I'm cutting you off, and I apologize, Brian. I do that, right? You can continue your point. I'm sorry.
No, I want to hear.
I feel like Game Pass gets a pass unfairly. I love it. Look, I have an Xbox Series X. I love everything about Game Pass. These day ones cannot be matched, right? They're not currently being matched. $20 a year. $20 a year. I spend less than that getting a pizza, more than that getting a pizza.
Yeah.
Seriously. And like, look, people want to crap on PS Now also, and PS Plus too, sometimes saying, oh, they're not as good as Game Pass, blah, blah, blah. I agree. They are not as good as Game Pass, but they're also not charging you monthly over the course of an entire year, which adds up to a lot more than $60 for PS Plus or PS Now. Right. I'm not an apologist here. I'm just saying, like, factually, $60 a year for a service like PS Now, not a bad deal.
Sure.
Like, if you like PlayStation games, it's really not. And Game Pass is a phenomenal deal. Getting the day ones is unmatched. But these other services, for how much you're actually paying, are great values.
Yeah.
Like $20 a year for this. And now, like, would I pay $35 or $40 for N64 games and Genesis games? Absolutely. I don't care. Right. $40 a year? Come on. Like, what is that?
I mean,
over the course of 12 months.
The problem with all these things is you get real sad when that subscription ends and you have to make the decision, like, am I going to continue this? Like, did I play enough of the N64 to keep this going?
Dude, I had a year where I maybe didn't pick up my Switch.
Exactly.
So I totally get it. I totally get it.
Right.
I spend more on soda pop. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That does nothing for me either. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not being a Nintendo apologist here. Like, I get it. They are the most corporate of corporations, right?
Right.
But like,
I'm wondering how I'm going to feel when it's like, okay, am I going to get to a point where I don't want to pay for Game Pass? And then, like, what does that look like at the end? I have 0 games then. Right. Like, literally 0 games to the system.
I will have Death's Door.
That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I hear you. I will have Death's Door. But the cool thing is that I think will garner not only more interest, but also maybe extend interest for people like you and I, is that you could play these games online. That's huge. That can't be understated.
Well,
like,
I mean,
I know it's Nintendo online.
I push back against that too, because it's like, yes, I don't want to pay for the privilege of playing online. Like, the PC does it for free.
Right.
It's I get that there's servers and stuff, but like, that's not a plus for me.
Oh, no, I'm saying how cool it would be to play the N64 games specifically online.
Yes, that would be different.
No, sure. I am totally on the same page. The fact that any console, and not let alone all of them, charge so you could play online is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Like, I am 100% with you on that. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
But adding functionality to things that didn't have it, absolutely. Like, I could see that.
If they Mario Kart 64 online,
right?
If they come out with GoldenEye on it,
that definitely won't happen. But
I mean, with the James Bond license, probably not.
Right.
But still, like, Diddy Kong could happen. I mean, Banjo's there.
Banjo's going to be there.
So like, Diddy Kong could happen. I would play Diddy Kong Racing online.
Yeah. I mean,
totally.
Diddy Kong is an easier one, especially since it did come out on the DS and they just changed some characters around. So that one I could see. Banjo-Kazooie, I was kind of surprised to see that one, honestly.
Yeah. So. I know I talked like I'm right on this, and I do understand differing opinions. Like, I am not right. It's just how I personally feel. But for me, $20 a month is like, and not everybody's in that situation. I understand that.
$20.
So I'm not trying to be like,
it is a pittance for what you're getting, for sure.
Right. So, okay. Moving beyond that, the next big thing, is the Mario casting.
There's a Mario movie coming out.
Goodness. So where do you want to? I will let you start this one, actually, because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about
it. let me pull up who it is, because
you know who Mario is.
I know who Mario is, and I'm like, Chris Pratt's gonna get canceled before this movie comes out, right?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, no, definitely. So for those of you who don't know what Brian is talking about, should I go ahead and say this?
Yeah.
Like, he's already on his way to getting canceled because of like the pages he follows on Twitter and the kind of content he puts out there. So I won't say any more than that, but go like research that if it interests you, because I'm pretty sure like maybe Nintendo's starting to realize that casting isn't without controversy.
I don't know how much they care.
I don't know either.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that they said like the Lego movie was cool and Chris Pratt was part of that. So let's get him in here.
Yeah, he's great as Star-Lord. I love all the memes that are coming out of this.
Oh my gosh. I screenshotted just like one, I think the Charlie Day one. I screenshotted it and I'm like, I'm gonna make my own version of this. I was too late. The internet has already taken hold of this.
Yes.
My favorite one is Waluigi, played by none other than Willem Dafoe. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. So that was I think actually Keith from the main quest sent me that.
Oh really?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I saw one where, it's Chris Pratt and he's looking all tearful, like from a Guardian still, and he's like, they took her. It's just like,
right.
They took her, Luigi. They took Princess Peach. It's like, I mean, there's so much there. There's so much there. Yeah. No, when I was watching this, I was like, what is this cast, man?
Yeah.
Like
they got Charles Martinet.
What is there?
Yeah,
Charles Martinet.
They got him in there for something. They wouldn't tell us what, but
yeah, probably for a lot of characters. I'm guessing that just aren't bigger roles,
right?
Which is good. They included him in the movie. I think everybody would riot if he wasn't in there in some way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I'm Charles Martinet.
I did like Jack Black as Bowser. I think that might be cool. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Like, what do we?
Yeah, I mean, so the one thing I will say about this casting is they got a bunch of people who are this, and like this, look, these people do this for a living. They're much better at this than I will ever be. But they got a lot of people who are this, except for Anna Taylor-Joy. I will say that. Mm-hmm. They're the same person in every movie. Did you see that there? Like in everything they've been in, like Charlie Day is the same character. Jack Black is Jack Black. Like Seth Rogen plays Seth Rogen. Like,
right.
So that kind of is like, I don't have faith they will be anything but the known quantity.
Yeah.
But all these people could be funny.
Right.
And this, if the writing is good enough, this could be a good movie. So I am holding on to hope here.
Yeah, me too.
That it could be good. Like, I'm not just totally going to crap on the film. It could definitely be good.
Right.
It could definitely be bad too. It could definitely be bad.
So, yeah. We will wait and see on this one.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of the best route to take on it. Yeah.
Was that it from the direct?
I think that is it, right? That is the biggest bit of news there. So that would do it for this episode.
Yeah.
Did this go by quick?
Yeah, fairly quick, I would say.
Cool. Good, because Halo beta's right now. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think it is.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, let's all just collectively push goodwill upon the Super Mario movie. Because like I'm gonna see it. And I would rather have it be something like, remember when Sonic released that trailer? People were
the first trailer.
Oh gosh, yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Jeez.
People were convinced this movie was trash. Like
right.
It was just always going to be that. And like you couldn't convince people differently. It turned out to be a good movie.
It might not have been good if they didn't fix it though.
Yes, it might have been something that nobody could look past. But look, like this could work out. It could. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, like we're getting a Mario movie. That's cool. It's pretty cool. And I have to believe that Nintendo won't want it to fail. Like,
I imagine not.
Well, obviously, but that is kind of a stupid thing to say, isn't it? You're like, yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like this, if they ruin this, look at what it did for Mario for decades with the last movie, right?
Right.
So I think
it was a much different. I know Mario was big back then, but Mario's really big now.
Yeah, he's bigger than Jesus.
Exactly.
I don't know that. You might be. But you had said at one point he was more recognizable than Mickey Mouse.
That's right. Yeah. I forget at what point in time, but
so he's probably bigger than Jesus. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm apologizing to the listeners. All right. Anyway, do we have an episode next week? Gosh, I should probably pull that. How professional.
I think we do. And I can tell you it is the top 10 deadliest gaming worlds because we are entering spooky season.
It's spooky season. And, top 10 deadliest gaming worlds. So this will be worlds where, your average Brian or Ryan would have the hardest chance of surviving.
Right.
Which is a lot of them.
I saw a Reddit thread about like what if you had to be in the last video game world that you played, and then there's some terrifying ones out there that would not be good.
I'd be in Halo.
You'd be in Halo. Yeah, that's okay. That's not a good place.
Well, it's not the worst place by any stretch. God.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away from my list here, but there's a lot worse.
Oh, there is a lot worse.
Yeah, Halo will not be making my list.
Right.
But yeah. I'm looking forward to this. It'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, as always, thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. Bye.